hit subscribe, keep the signal alive. Talk Tech Africa. Every single week, big trends, big dreams, every voice we seek, from policy to product, vision to app. We're drawing the whole world on the same map. Talk Tech Africa. Tune in to the feed if you want to stay ahead. This is what you need, from the past to the promise. We're talking through time. Hit subscribe, keep the signal online. Yeah. We're tuning in. Talk Tech Africa. Let's plug in, plug in. Talk Tech Africa. Hit subscribe, stay in. Talk Tech Africa, where your future begins. Talk Tech Africa. We're tuning in. Talk Tech Africa. Let's plug in. From the code to the cable, from the screen to the street, from the lab in Lagos to the boardrooms overseas. We're breaking down the buzzwords, turning hype into sense, putting people in the picture, not just power and expense. Where are we? Where are we going? Who's building in? Who's owning? We to the boardrooms overseas. We map it in the open. Talk Tech Africa. We connect the dots, from the village to the cloud to the city blocks, past milestones, future on the run. We're talking how the world gets wired as one. Talk Tech Africa. Press play, lean in, from the north to the south. Let the story begin. If you want the future in your daily life, hit subscribe, keep the signal alive. Yeah. 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 Solar on a rooftop, payments on the phone, startups in Kigali making tools of their own. Farmers checking whether kids are learning to code. Makers in Nairobi turning scrap into gold. Oh, who decides what's designed? Who gets left? Who gets time? We dig deep, past the shine, putting people in the headline. Oh, Talk Tech Africa. We connect the dots, from the village to the cloud to the city blocks, past milestones, future on the run. We're talking how the world gets wired as one. Talk Tech Africa. Press play, lean in, from the north to the south. Let the story begin. If you want the future in your daily life, hit subscribe, keep the signal alive. Oh yeah. Hey. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. From copper cables to satellites, from dial-up days to the data at night, we remember where the story began, so we can build a better next in our hands. And from campus labs to crowded streets, from silent code to policy seats, Africa's voice in every debate. This is where we narrate our fate. Hey, hey. Talk Tech Africa. We connect the dots, from the village to the cloud to the city blocks, past milestones, future on the run. We're talking how the world gets wired as one. Talk Tech Africa. Press play, lean in, from the north to the south. Let the story begin. If you want the future in your daily life, hit subscribe, keep the signal alive. Talk Tech Africa. Every single week, big trends, big dreams, every voice we seek, from policy to product, vision to app. We're drawing the whole world on the same map. Talk Tech Africa. Tune in to the feed if you want to stay ahead. This is what you need, from the past to the promise. We're talking through time. Hit subscribe, keep the signal online. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Talk Tech Africa. We're tuning in. Talk Tech Africa. Let's plug in, plug in. Talk Tech Africa. Hit subscribe, stay in. Talk Tech Africa, where your future begins.
Hello guys, confirm you can hear me using the chats. So let me hide this. So welcome to Talk Tech Africa. My name is Femi Greater Heights. Please do not mind where I'm looking at. My webcam is somewhere here, somewhat here, and my screen is somewhat here. So I have a dual display. So welcome to the webinar for this month um, of March. We intend to have one webinar every month, hoping to bring in professionals and subject matter experts to speak on, not just speak, because one of the things that we've talked about as a team, and I'm going to introduce all the team members on the call, is that we want to be able to um, technically, right, want to be able to bring people that go beyond talking to demonstrating, to showing us practical applications of technology. And we believe that the the complexity of technology is can be delivered in a very simple way, in a simplified manner. So please use the comments. If you can hear me, just say I can hear you in the comments, and we'll get started. Now, this is a technical session, and we're streaming simultaneously to my personal Facebook and also TalkTech's YouTube. We intend to extend this to LinkedIn and several other platforms as we move on in um, the stuff. So this platform is not Zoom, it's not Teams, it's not Meets, it's Meeting. So it's kind of a new platform that we have, and we strictly use it for our operations here at TalkTech Africa. I would like to appreciate. So I think the team should look into this. King Jedediah, you should look into this. We should have a landscape of all the pictures of the team. So we can say, meet the Hall of Fame, something like that. You guys should keep it in mind. So we'll be able to show, what this is about. So I would like to appreciate the TalkTech Africa team on this call. There are a lot of them, but I'll just mention those on this call. King Jedediah is in charge of the social contents, all the write-ups that you guys see. These guys are powering it. We have a team of about 5 powering content alone. We have a team of 2 powering design. We have a team of 3 powering just the websites, web design, and all of that. So, and we have a team of put together about 5 trying to maintain the social media handles that we have, from X to LinkedIn to Facebook group and Facebook page. We have a Spotify or podcast page that I manage. I'm the one putting out content there, and I think we have close to about 284 episodes so far on our podcast. Just search on Google. It's not so hard to find. Talk Tech Africa with Femi Greater Heights. You find it on 28 streaming platforms, including Apple, Spotify, and all of these platforms. We're also on TikTok. I am trying my best to put a lot of videos on the TikTok side. So go on TikTok, Talk Tech Africa, TTAF. The letters TTAF have been trademarked, and it's for exclusive use. Um, so these are the things that we do in Talk Tech. We try as much as possible to bring technology. We spotlight technology in the area of STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, and we spotlight it in Africa. If tech is explained in the US, it might be explained way differently. But when you bring it to the African sphere, it has to adapt to us. Africa has a style of doing stuff. We have cultures, we have people. Just imagine Nigeria alone having 250 languages. And we're not even talking about Kenya, Rwanda, South Africa, Guinea, Ghana, um, Egypt, Cote d'Ivoire, Cameroon, and all the 54 nations in Africa. So Africa is not a country. If you're watching this outside of Africa, Africa is not a country. Africa is a continent. that has 54 nations. Nigeria, one of those nations, South Africa, one of those nations. So keep that in mind. So I'd like to appreciate King Jedediah. I'd like to appreciate Okpeoluwa Adeyanju. He's the team lead for web. For those of you that don't know, we have a website. We are putting a ton of work into the website, so I'm just simply going to display it on your screen. The TalkTech Africa website looks like this, and it has, we're putting a bit of shape, texture into it. Um, we are putting things like jobs, and a lot is happening in the community. We are branching into Ghana, Cameroon, and several of these communities very soon. You know a we have a team of two already that just joined last week. One from Canada and one from Nigeria, and they will be pushing out Talk Tech, managing the community outside of Nigeria to Ghana to Cameroon. So we're looking at about 4 countries: Kenya, Rwanda, Ghana, Cameroon. Then from 4 we move to 8, we move to 12, then till we get to 54. So if you want to be part of this community, please leave a comment, go through any of our social media handles, and the you will find somebody somewhere, one member of the team that would get across to you and tell you what you need to do. Now, we don't just onboard any person in TalkTech Africa. I happen to be the founder of TalkTech since 2016, but we started putting flesh into it around 2018. And I have tried my best to communicate with the team that TalkTech is strictly run on the backs of volunteers. You rarely, except when I'm doing tech and you're seeing me in your face and I'm doing the podcast stuff, I am not the one pushing the content. All of these amazing guys are the one pushing the stuff. They are making the designs. In short, how we rebranded from TalkTech Nigeria to TalkTech Africa, all the designs you see is done in-house by these guys behind. So from next webinar, you'll be seeing the picture of the team. We'll display it right here, and you see the guys that are really putting in the hard work. The community has grown to about close to about 40,000 members right now, and still counting. So our goal is to scale up to 1 million, scale up to 5 million, 10 million, and we go up from there. So let's get started with why we are here for today. For those of you on the call, thank you for being part of this webinar. I am going to start by, you know, just showing me my own image. It always looks strange seeing my face. I'm a cybersecurity expert. Don't mind the analyst. That was many years ago. I'm no longer an analyst. So that's what I look like, and this is my bio. Femi Greater Height is a seasoned information security professional and a security audit expert with over 2 decades of experience in the IT and cybersecurity sectors. Not just those sectors, I've worked across industries. I have experience in about 6 industries right now. As the founder of TalkTech Africa, he leads a vibrant virtual community of over 40,000 members dedicated to positioning the African continent as the next major frontier for global technological evolution. I'm a devoted Christian. Femi balances his technical expertise with a commitment to mentoring the next generation of tech talents. Outside of my professional life, I am a family man with a deep fascination for space exploration, you already know that, and a love for sci-fi movies, always keeping an eye on the future of innovation. So, with a round of applause, I welcome me. so, so thank you for welcoming me, I believe. And let's get into why we are here. So I put up a screen the other time and I was playing this Talk Tech soundtrack. Mind you, that soundtrack was purely produced by artificial intelligence. It's almost as if it is real. So all of our soundtrack underbellies were created strictly with AI. And yeah, so if you want that song, it's currently on the podcast. I think I'll put it there. You can download it. You can enjoy that music, and that was done with AI, with the help of AI. So we are going to be talking about artificial intelligence, and but strictly on the automation side. Like you all know, artificial intelligence is gradually moving from generative to agentic. Um, so generative meant that most of your how you use ChatGPT is, or how ChatGPT is defined by a lot of people, is that you go there, you type stuff, and it generates stuff for you, right? It just spits out to what you tell it to do. But the world is moving to agentic. So when you hear the word building agents, it means that you have a representative doing the work for you. It doesn't really need to iterate, it doesn't need to get your input. So it's more like human outside of the loop. Simply means that if you give it the first instruction, it knows what to do next, it knows what to do next, and it executes this command without, it could be an infinite loop based on how you've defined it. It could be a finite loop. So if you are following up on the internet right now, you hear the words of open claw, you know. So don't be caught unaware. And I tell a lot of people that you might not be in the tech space, but tech is powering wherever you are. So that is why we have things like this, bring in professionals to give you that, perspective. Um, oh, it's breaking. Oh, sorry about that. Um, Please confirm. I'm seeing on the chat that the audio is breaking. Confirm if it's just for one person, localized, or it's for everybody. So for context, the theme of this webinar is AI automation made easy, your first steps to digital transformation. And I'll be having a friend that we've known in Nigeria before he moved out of Nigeria. I think he moved out of Nigeria before me. Yeah, I think he did. So I'm just going to also, give his own bio as well. So, um, Bola Bola Akinola is a technical product manager and a digital solution specialist with over 6 years of experience delivering digital transformation across several industries, including banking, healthcare, and education. He specializes in building custom business applications, automation, AI-driven solutions, and scalable cloud platforms that improve operational efficiency and unlock smarter ways of working. His work focuses on translating complex business challenges into practical user-centered digital products, from automating manual processes and integrating data systems to deploying AI-powered tools and cloud-hosted applications. He helps teams streamline operations, reduce costs, and drive measurable impact. Bolan is passionate about empowering people through technology, enabling organizations to build sustainable, future ready digital ecosystems while fostering innovation and continuous improvement. And the topic for today is AI automation made easy, your first steps to digital transformation. And I'll be bringing Bola onto the stage to just to give a little bit of say hi here, say hi there. So Bola, over to you.
Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Do I have people hearing me? Hello, can you hear me? All right. Thank you very much
Okay.
for that. I had people hearing me. That's good that you people can hear me. All right. So just like Femi said earlier, my name is Bola Akinola, and in simple format, I'm just a solutions expert. And what that means is I just provide solutions. I try to solve problems as best as I can. I started my career as an IT infrastructure specialist back then in a bank in Nigeria. And from then, I just realized that in certain places, there are problems that can be fixed with technology. Some organizations are very slow to digital transformation. So I try the best I can to just help them use technology in vogue, technology that is currently trending, to help them streamline their operations, save costs, and just make their business more efficient. And that's just me at the moment. Today's topic is AI automation made easy, and I'm just going to be taking you through AI and automation as best as I can, giving you a first-hand introduction. I know a lot of people here might have had a bit of experience, knowledge about automation, and of course AI. AI is everywhere we go now. Everywhere you walk into, every news you open, every page you open, you can hear the word AI, 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 AI. But how do you apply it? How do you make the best use of AI? Are you making use of it very well? Are you making use of AI to the best of your ability? I'm just going to give you a brief of introduction to that today, and we'll see how we can get that sorted. So, permission to get started, please. This will be as interactive as I can. So, please, I would want you to drop comments on the chat, drop emojis in the chat, just to know that I'm carrying people along and people are moving along with me. So, just let me know if you can wave or drop hi or say something in the chat so I can get started. All right, thank you. Can you all see my screen? All right, thank you very much. So, just going to get started now with that. AI automation made easy. So we're just going to go through a few topics. If I have much time, I would go through the other parts of the topics, and I would see how much time we have left. So, what are we really trying to do today? What do I want to make you know today? So, the objectives and what we are trying to achieve today. First thing is to understand what automation and AI actually are. So, a lot of people, you probably have heard it in technical terms. Today, going to try and break it down to you in plain English so you can really understand what it's all about. Next thing is to recognize. So, where can you bring AI automation into your business? Where can you bring AI automation into your life? Where can you bring AI automation into your career or your organization to help them save money and reduce human errors? And the third one will be to identify. So there are processes that you currently do every day now, daily, that you're probably already used to, is your way of life, but you find out that there are certain things you could automate in those your daily processes that could help you save time to focus on more other things. So I'm going to try to help you identify that. And the next one will be to discover. So there are many tools that are available. There are many AI agents, many AI models, many LLMs that are available in the market today. So which ones could you get started with? Which one gives you the basic entry level to get started with? What are the difference between these tools? We're going to go through that, and then I hope by the end of this webinar today, you at least have a first practical step you can take immediately to get started in your AI automation journey. So, first thing is why AI automation matters now. Um, Automation is not new in any way. So I'm going to start with automation first. AI is different, automation is different, but we are bringing both of them together today. Automation is not new. It's something that has been as far back as I can remember. If anybody here has been into IT way back, Windows, scripting, using PowerShell, there's a lot of automation that goes on back in that ways. A lot of us, we have banks, we use bank accounts whereby you use ATMs, you go to the bank, you withdraw money. The moment you do that, you get text message on your phone. All those things are, there's no one sitting somewhere that is sending that message, you immediately you withdraw money. It's all automated. So automated automation has always been there forever. But why is automation now, like, why does it matter now? Why are you hearing it everywhere now? Why is it that almost everybody now is having access to automation tools? And the main reason is because the technology is now finally accessible. So before, it used to be big organizations that had access to automations. It used to be specific people that could build automation tools, that had the budget to build things like that. And you needed certain level of technology. So you probably had to be very good in code. You probably had to use Python, Golang, and some of all these languages to build automation tools, to write AI tools. But right now, it is now more accessible to everybody. There are now tools that you probably did not need to know Jack, as something as simple as printout, or something as simple as Hello World. You probably do not need to know that to build an automation model, to build something with AI now. And that is why you can keep here everywhere you go, you keep hearing AI and automation, because the technology is finally accessible. Another reason now is time is the scarcest resource. We are in the world now. It's not only, I know not everybody is in Nigeria, but to be sincere, it's not only in Nigeria that the economy is bad. The economy is bad everywhere in the world. So people are trying their best to do two jobs at the same time. Somebody is trying to do a 9 to 5 and at the same time trying to do a business. So how do you combine both together? How to make sure that that 24 hours in your you have in one day, you have two things running at the same time, and you want to achieve the best out of it. Automation is something that is going to help you do that, and that's why you're hearing the word automation now. And another thing is your competitors are moving. You're trying to run two jobs at the same time. You're working in 9 to 5, let's say in a bank, and you don't have access to your phone, and at the same time you're running an online business. Now there's another person somewhere that is running that online business as their full-time business. How do you compete with such person, where they send a message to the person replies you immediately, compared to you that you don't have access to your phone, you have to wait at the end of the day before you can reply to them. So how do you compete in such markets? That is the need for automation, and that is why we are talking about these things now. That is why it is everywhere now. You need the automation in almost everything you do so that you can compete and be up to date in the technology market. This is just global adoption. Every organization now is moving with the trend. Femi mentioned something about agentic AI there now. As at when ChatGPT and the like came out, it was just LLMs. You give them a prompt, you ask them something, they give you back. But it is moving from LLMs that is moving to agentics, whereby you can actually program and just give that agent something for them to handle. I'm not sure. I don't know if anybody probably saw the news recently with Trump and Anthropic, where they were talks about, oh, Trump has disbarred the Anthropic Claude model in their war system, and then Anthropic released the news to say, oh, this is the reason what happened. The government wants us to release our models to be able to take immediate decisions or target people on their own. And if you're reading some of things like that, you're starting to wonder, how will AI models be used in wars? How would AI models be used to target people like that? That is the level at which AI and automation is going. And you need to tap into it as much as possible, because every top organization is doing that. Everybody is trying to get sorted. Everybody is trying to save as much cost as they can, and at the same time achieve the best they can. So the world is moving, everybody's adopting it. So we too, in our little cubicle, should learn to adopt that. So start with the foundations, really. There are some words that people throw around. There are some words that people interchange. There are some words you hear. You probably think sometimes they mean the same thing, and sometimes they don't mean the same thing. So I'm just going to make you understand what some of these words mean. The first is automation. From the word automatic, when something is automated, right? It just means making something run on its own with rules. So you give a specific rule. If something happens, do this. So let's take, for example, you go to a fast food restaurant. The moment you're trying to step into the fast food restaurant or an hotel, the door opens on its own. It's been programmed somewhere to say, there's a sensor that senses to say, Once you see somebody coming, or when you feel a particular wave coming at a particular distance, open the door. Is there a timer attached to it? Okay, after 5 minutes, or after 1 minute, or after 30 seconds, close the door back. That's just basic automation. It's You've given it a specific rule, and you've given it a task to run by its own. Then there's workflow. Workflow is just a sequence of connected steps that moves from start to finish. What I just explained earlier now is now a workflow. So automation is the process of the task running back on its own. But workflow is now the steps involved in it. Step one is, oh, understand that there's somebody at close proximity. Step two is open workflow two will now be open the door. Workflow three will be a condition to say after how many minutes. Workflow four will be close the door, and that's just workflow. It's just a connected steps to say from this do this, from that do that. And then there comes AI, artificial intelligence. It's a software that just learns from example and makes decision. It's not magic. It's just something that has been trained to learn something over and over again. It's just like a human. You're in school, you've read certain books. At the exam, they ask you a question about those things you've read, and then you write it back to them. So it's been trained. It's just a software that has been trained with a lot of information, and then you ask it some of those information, and then it tells you back what it knows. Then there's machine learning in the background, which actually powers the AI technology itself. So that is what is being used to learn those patterns from data and improve its own accuracy. So, for example, um, you feed it information, you feed it pictures of, let's say, orange, apples, tangerines, and say, this is how an orange looks. Then the machine starts to learn, okay, this is how an orange looks. In future, when you feed it another picture and say, what is this? It will be able to tell you that this is an orange because it's learned from the data that has been fed to it from way back to understand that anything that looks in this shape, form, in this manner is an orange. And that's just basic what machine learning is. You feed it information, it's just learning from patterns over and over to keep improving itself and improving data. And that is what, at the end of the day, powers AI. And then there's LLM, large language model. LLM are what we all use nowadays. So you have your chat GPTs, your Claudes, your Groks, your Geminis, your Copilots. Those are all LLMs. They are AIs that have been trained on vast information, text, and then now there's not natural language, because at the end of the day, the machine learning itself, they are not being trained in natural language. There's something called tokenization. I'm probably not going into that. And tokenization is just trying to break down your own natural language into language that the computer or the machine actually understands. That's at the back end. But you yourself, you probably will not be able to give it that language you understand. And that's why the LLMs are there for you to type in natural language, and then they give you back the answer in natural language, which is basically human text. And that's LLMs. Those are the ones that are popular out there that everybody uses now. And then there's RAG, retrieval augmentation generation. Basically, LLM itself, one way or the other, get their information from somewhere. They either get their information from the web, they either get their information from knowledge they've been pre-trained to. Now, RAG is just basically you connecting your own language to it. So let's say you have an LLM or ChatGPT, but you don't want that ChatGPT to get information from the web. You have an organization, and let's say you have your own policies, your own information, and then you want people to ask those specific questions. Now you've deployed an LLM, or you've deployed a model to your website, but at the back end, you've not connected a particular knowledge or your own organization policy to that LLM, so that when people ask that question, it would go and search that knowledge base or search that policy to give them an answer. So in that way, it is not taking information from pre-trained knowledge. It's not taking information from a website. When you ask the questions, you need to go back to the document and connect your questions to where you can find it in a document to give you back an answer. And that's what most organizations use. Maybe when you're using chatbots, a customer service chatbot, and you ask them question, oh, what's your closing time? It goes back to check. What do I do if I want to return something? It goes back to check what's the policy we return, and then it fixes you back the answer. That's what RAG is all about. And then there's the agents, the big one, that's where we're moving to now. And these are technologies that can plan, take actions, and use tools on your behalf. So they are not just LLMs, they're not the chat GPTs that you just ask questions and then take. Okay, let's take, for example, you send a message to ChatGPT. Can you help me compose an email to my director that I need a raise at work? ChatGPT will help you, blah blah blah. This is what you should type, this is how you type it. If you now try again and say, okay, can you help me send that email to my manager? That is where ChatGPT stops. ChatGPT would then not be able to help you send that email to you because ChatGPT probably does not have access to your email, does not have your manager's email and things like that. But when it gets to the agentic level, you can feed the agent your manager's email and connect it to your Outlook or connect it to your Gmail. And an agent would then be able to help you send that email to your manager. So the agent at this point now has helped you compose the email and has helped you send the email back to your manager. And that's what agent does at that level. It will do everything for you. You just need to tell it and connect it to the right tools. You connect it to the right tools because if you don't connect it, there's no way to be able to carry out that process. So you connect it to the right tools, and the agents will be able to help you carry out that task. And then it will come to the model. Really, let's take cars for example. Toyota. You have a Toyota Corolla, you have the Camry, you have the Venza. Those are different models of a Toyota, and that's the same thing with LLMs here. So if you probably are using a free chat GPT, you probably have access to maybe GPT 4, 4.1. If you are at the paid level, you probably have access to 5.1. There's 4.0 mini and things like that. If you're using Anthropic Claude, you have the Claude Sonnet and different models like that. They are just different models. They have different level of performance, different level of prediction, different levels of data that are already been learned. If you're using a free chat GPT and a paid one, the way your answers come are totally different and they are based on models. So each model has been trained differently. Each model has more information more than another one. Each model is stronger than another one. And these are what people basically use. I work in a Microsoft environment, and there's a Microsoft product called Microsoft Foundry, whereby they have thousands of models being deployed there. So, for example, if I wanted to build a website or build a project, all I need to do is to go to that website and pick up a model. So, I'll look for which model is strong enough, which model is good, and pick up that model and deploy it to my website. So, in this point, I'm not deploying a ChatGPT or a Claude. I'm picking a model from one of those LLMs or from one of those companies as good as they are and deploying it to my website to help me do what they are. So at the end of the day, the models itself are the ones that actually have the knowledge, that have the ability to do everything like that. LLM is just like an overview or a capitalization of everything. But the models itself are the ones that actually, that the system itself that makes a prediction, that learns and gives you output. So depending on the model you use, depending on how strong your AI ability will be. Okay, I'll just go really into this. So the topic is AI automation, but before there was AI automation, there was automation. And that's just the traditional automation. It's just basic sequence. If this happens, do this. If this happens, do that. And just basically, so for example, in finance, um, manually, an accountant will copy invoice data into a spreadsheet every day. It's customer submits a form, they will then type it into that form manually and do things like that. But at automation level, if the email comes, you can set it to a particular automation that once an email comes into your email, the technology will read into your email, copy the right information, and paste it to your CRM or paste it to your customer database and things like that. So it just saves you from doing things manually, but you have to give it a specific sequence. And that's what brings about triggers, conditions, and actions. So every automation should have something we call a trigger, and the word English trigger, like something that triggers something basically, which means what starts that automation. What should make this automation kick off? You've connected an automation to your business, but what should make the automation start? There needs to be something to kickstart that automation, and that's what's called trigger. So this is the event that kicks off the automation. So it could be when a new email arrives, or let's say you are using a WhatsApp chatbot. It could be when somebody sends me a message that contains I want to buy, or somebody sends me a message that says inquiry, immediately you should kickstart. So your trigger would determine how well your automation will perform. If your trigger is not well configured, then nothing will happen. Your automation would not work. And another thing in the middle is the condition. So should it run at every trigger? So when I was during my bachelor's degree, I was working on a project, and the project had built something that could, with a sensor that could check if people were passing through your gates at I think about 100 meters, and then be able to alert you in the house that there's somebody at your gate and things like that. And I remember one of the messages, one of the questions they asked me during the defense was, so what if a goat or an animal passes that sensor? Would it trigger in the house too? So that's where conditions come in. So when somebody sends you a message, should your automation run at every single time? No, yes or no. That's where you're setting your condition. So for example, here it says if it's from a new customer, the system could decide to check, is this message from somebody already in your contact list? Or if it's from somebody you've already been chatting with, then don't run. If it's somebody that is new, run. If somebody wants to buy something, let's say above 50,000, send this particular account number. If it's above 100,000, send another account number. These are conditions you can put in your automation to make it run differently, to make it follow a different pathway. And that's where it's very important in how you decide to run your automation. And then the last one is action. So when you've put a trigger and then added a condition, then what should happen? That's that what action should take place. So should you send an email? Should you reply with this particular text message? Should it update a spreadsheet and certain things like that? These are the things that make up the DNA of automation. So if you're building any automation, it has to contain a trigger, not compulsorily a condition, but yeah, if it wants to work very well, or you if you want to have different pathways, it has to have a condition. And then lastly, an action needs to take place. Before I go on, do I have people here with me? Are we good? Can you hear me? And are you following? And just like Femi said, if you have any questions, just note them. So can I just have thumbs up or yes, something just to know that we're following up? Okay, thank you very much. All right. And then there's like a maturity ladder really. There's not much here. This is just defining different levels you can get to. At currently now you're probably doing things manually, and then when you move up a bit, you're probably now doing scripting using Excel. You know, when you're using Excel workbook and you link two different worksheets together and say the total of this one should appear and things like that. From there, you now move to another level of doing workflow automations using these tools, and then you move to intelligent automations, and then you now move to AI agents where things start to happen on their own. It's just a ladder of how you can grow in the automation business. Now, AI automation, we've been talking about automation without the AI. Now, where does the AI come in? Where does the AI sit? What does it change in automation? I've explained some of this earlier. I've explained machine learning earlier. I've explained LLMs, which could also be called generative AI earlier. But what AI does in automation is they learn from examples and they help you make decisions, basically. So you've built an automation that says, and your trigger is if somebody sends me a message and say, "What is your closing time?" Reply with 9 to 5. Now, somebody comes randomly and say and speaks in another different language, or somebody interchanges the closing time and say which time you they close or something like that. Now your trigger does not work because what you've written in your trigger is when somebody says what time do you close, respond. Now your trigger does not understand which time you they close or something else. But when you bring in AI that's been trained to understand some of these things, you've brought in a model. The model would then be able to read the message and say, oh, what this person's typed actually sounds like this person is trying to ask about closing time. He's trying to understand what the person is saying. And when he sees it and say, oh, this person is actually asking what time do we close, but in a different manner, it would then trigger your automation to say, oh, this person is actually asking your closing time, then respond to it. As compared to a normal traditional automation that it has to work the way you've set it. When I do this, when somebody says this, do that, do that. That if it doesn't follow that path, it would fail. But when AI comes in, AI is able to help you try to understand the situation more. It's more smarter. Is able to make decisions and think that, oh, what's this person trying to do? What's this person trying to ask? And then it can now trigger your automation based for you. So that's basically what AI does when it comes into automation. It helps you make faster decisions. It helps you handle situations that are probably already above your automation. Your automation is failing or something because they don't understand what the person has said. AI comes in to be able to help you interpret it more and understand what the person has said to be able to give you the right answer. And this is just the difference. You have explained it earlier. The first one is traditional, is mostly hand coded, is rigid. So when the input format changes, somebody has said something different, it would most likely break, really. But AI would learn from data, adapt, and do things like that. Another one is decision. So traditional one only handles what it was programmed for. Do this, do that. It would not go above that. It would not make decisions on its own. But when AI comes in, it will try and weigh the context, try and undo things, and just try to make everything work perfect. And traditional AI is mostly, and traditional automation is mostly structured, basically. You have, if you've said reply to only text, if the person sends an image, it would not work. If you've said attach only PDF, if the person said does something else, it would not work. But with AI, it's unstructured. The person can send a text message, can send an image, can record with their voice, can do PDF, any format, and the AI would actually try to understand what this person is trying to do. Okay, let's take for example Instagram, for example. You built an AI chatbot to your Instagram to say when someone says hello, reply hi, how can I help you, in text. Now somebody's decided to record a voice note in the voice note and said hello. At that point, your traditional automation has failed because your traditional automation is expecting a text that contains hello. That is what it can read. It can would not be able to read that audio. But if you have AI connected to your automation, when the voice note comes in, the AI would listen to it and understand that, oh yeah, this message actually contains hello. It would then trigger the automation. And that's some of the differences between traditional automation and when AI comes in. Another one is failure. Traditional automation most times will just fail. You would now take the help of you as a human to try to debug what's happening and things like that. But at AI stage, you can hand over to a human. Have you ever been in a case where you're chatting the customer service of organization and then you're sending a message, blah 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 blah, and it says, "Oh, sorry, I don't know what you're looking for. Do you want me to hand over to a human?" And then it says, "Oh, wait, I'll connect you to an agent very soon." These are some of the cases where AI is coming in. It was just traditional automation. At that point, when you've asked a question that is not in the traditional automation, that chat has ended. It cannot do anything for you. But because AI has been connected, AI is able to understand that at this point, what this person is asking for is beyond my knowledge, is beyond what has been coded already. I would then hand over it for a human to actually answer to you. And those are some of the things AI does in that situation. And yeah, that's it. This is like the AI pipeline, really. There's an input that comes in, which is just like a trigger. That's just the input is the trigger. And then there's the understanding part. The AI would need to read or try to interpret that message that's coming, then decide which route it needs to go, and then act. And after that, it now that's another thing that the AI also does. It now learns from that situation that's happened. So you've sent a message that is new to it. It has tried to understand it and say, oh yeah, this is what this person is trying to do. It has now completed the automation, it's done. But at the same time, it would now learn from that situation and keep it in its knowledge base so that in case somebody also comes with that situation in future, he already knows what to do this time around. And that's one of the things that AI does in automation. This is prompting. This prompting is very important. I'm going to just keep this a bit and come back to it because it's going to be important when I want to do a showcase to how prompt engineering can actually change situation. Prompt basically means typing in natural language. Your AI or your LLM gives you a response based on how best your prompt is. And that's why if you're going online these days, there are courses that are just prompting on its own, prompt engineering, for you to actually learn how to prompt your AI, for you to actually learn how to build your AI. So, for example, look at what I've written here. There are 5 elements of a great prompt. What should your AI be? The background, what should it do? How do you want the output and communication style? Now, somebody has decided to, let's say you want to build an AI model now, and you've said, write me a report about our business. He will just go on his own. This person needs a report and just write it, blah, 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 blah. Compared to somebody that says, write me a one page, a quarter three sales summary for our Lagos store for a non-technical investor, meaning use non-technical terms. It says, highlight our top three products and one key risk. Do you know the difference in what it would spit out in these two prompts? That's why prompting is very important. You need to prompt your AI. And that's why when see how some people use AI online and you'll be like, did AI write this for you? And When you see some people, you can definitely tell you that, oh no, AI wrote this, because it's so generic, it's so, you can just say. But when you prompt in the right manner, okay, for example, role, it says act as a senior HR manager. You're telling it the position to assume, the language it should write in, your context, you're giving it the relevant background. Task, you're telling it exactly what to do. Format, you're telling it to use a bullet point, use a table, max 100 words. You're telling it those things. So the AI is not just acting on its own intelligence and just giving you what you want. It's actually going to give you in the manner you've prompted it to be. And that's why prompt engineering is very important. Prompting is very important when you're dealing with AI. Um, the next one is, this is just a workflow of how prompts work. Not going to dwell too much on this. This is just a workflow. An inquiry is received. AI would read and classify it. It checks the condition, creates a record, and things like that. These are just connected workflows you can build within the AI system. Then we'll go to platform and tools. So, like I said at the start, automation tools, AI tools are now more easily accessible than they were before. And that is why we are talking more about it. Because somebody that has had no knowledge of AI, somebody that has no technical background, can now today pick a tool as simple as Zapier and build an automation on their own. Because it's now been simplified to drag and drop, drag and drop. It's just like websites before. Um, People had to learn how to write HTML, CSS, JavaScript to build beautiful websites. Now we have tools like Framer, Webflow, some of these tools where you can just drag and drop, give you a prompt, and it would build your website for you. There's even Lovable now that you can, Lovable and Replit, where you can launch a full startup by just giving a prompt or doing low code tools and things like that. And that's why these tools are very important here. You do now need to learn deep technical things to actually build something. You don't need to learn deep technical things to actually be in tech. Like Femi mentioned in the start, you you don't have to be in tech, but tech could actually be in your own specific area. You could be in banking, you could be a finance dude or a finance babe, but you're actually doing tech things within the organization. That is why these tools are there for you. So we have Zapier, which is no code. Anybody could use it. They have free and paid platforms where you can connect to different applications and do things. You could have Zapier connect to your Gmail and say, anytime you get an email from anybody that contains manager in the email, take the message, send it to my WhatsApp, or take the message, do this with it. Simple things like that. That while on your own, you could think that I really don't even need this. I do this manual on your own. But when you start thinking of what you could do, some of these tools, you can see that you tend to save yourself more time. Like, okay, at this all the time I get a notification from my Gmail, because there are sometimes you get notifications that are just adverts, promotions, socials. You don't want to keep checking your email. You just connect a simple automation to it that, oh, if it's an important email, or flag me or sound in a different way or do something like to send it to my WhatsApp. Things like that. These are some of the things you could build in your own little space. So we have Make also. Make also takes it a step higher than Zapier, where you can now do more stuff. There's Power Automate. This is for people within the Microsoft space. If you're working in an organization that use Microsoft 365, this is something you should basically look into. Power Automate will help you automate a lot of things easily, help you automate approvals easily. And we have the ChatGPT, which they have an open AI model where you can connect to your automations to make things easier. We have Claude and Anthropic, and we have N8N. Out of some of these automation tools, I feel like N8N seems to be one of the most powerful ones, because N8N has more things to do, has more AI. You have to learn more about webhook and things like that. You have to be at least learn few things about Zapier or Make for you to now come to N8N and all of that. And sincerely, the good things about most of these tools is they are similar. You've learned Zapier, you've learned how to do things there. You can easily get into Make and start building things. They just use different words, really. Zapier could probably say you're building Zaps, and Make will say you're building scenarios. Power Automate will say you're building flows. They just sound different, but basically they do the same thing. So if you have the basic understanding, you can start building things and get what you want out of it easily. And how to spot what to automate? How do you know, like, something needs to be automated really. So I'll try to run a bit of score here. So the first question is it repetitive? So do you do it daily? If it's something you do daily, that's a three. If it's weekly, it's a two. If it's monthly, it's a one. Now, is it time consuming? Does it save you? Does it take you time to do it? If it takes you more than 2 hours daily, that's a three, 1 to 2 hours. You just look at this thing and score yourself. So at the end of it, when you look down, you have 9 to 12. If the score of everything you've done from these four is between 9 to 12, then you need to start automating that thing. If it's 6 to 8, it's like a strong candidate. If it's 3 to 5, you could still weigh a bit. If it's 0 to 2, then okay, manual. So you have to ask yourself some of these things. Some of these things I do at work daily, some of these things I do in my business daily. Is it repetitive? Do I do every day? Does it take me time? Is it error prone? Can I make mistake from it? So are you a business person? You have multiple people sending you messages on WhatsApp daily, and they're sending you their name, phone number, delivery address, and then you have to copy it from your WhatsApp and send it to your delivery guy. And then you've made a mistake. If somebody has ordered a brown wig and you've delivered a black wig because you've mixed things up from things like that. But if you've had an automation that does it for you, it would copy it directly from the person that sent you a message and copy it over to the delivery person easily using variables, keeping the same information. So you're no longer making mistakes. So those are some of the things you need to check about what do I need to start automating? Is it data driven and am I moving data across? Things like that. So this is one thing you should look at when you're thinking of starting to automate things. Okay, I'll just skip through this. These are some of the African examples now that would make you know that you need to get started with this revolution. There are jobs that are being transformed by AI. We're hearing every day, AI will take your job, AI will take your, AI will take your job. So it's something you need to get into. You need to start up touching into your own work. Um, I think 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was at the Microsoft AI tour here in London, and they made an example. There was a delivery that they did of a doctor in one of the UK hospitals. The doctor said that currently in the UK there's like a high wait list of the National Health Service. It's taking more time to see a doctor really because of all these things. And because why that happens is because doctors have to meet with patients. After doing that, they need to write a report on their system of what they've spoken with the patient. You need to generate the report, send it to a particular person. So even if you spend 15 minutes discussing with a patient, you're spending another 30 or 45 minutes discussing, inputting it into a report. But now with AI, what happens now is there's now an AI tool within that meeting that is recording everything you're discussing with the patient and then converting it into text and inputting it directly into the report system for you. So that has saved you extra 30 minutes and you're not doing something else. So you now have more time to meet more patients. And those are some of the things where how AI automation is being important in this technology important in this environment where we are in. This is just numbers, um, costs, and things like that. Same thing here. I'm just going to skip through because of our time. And these are some of the use cases. So it's not only people in tech. If you're in sales, if you're in finance, if you're in HR, customer service marketing, it could help you a lot. A lot of people in customer service, sales, and marketing are using AI and automation daily now. They help you understand leads, what the opportunities, they convert it, move it to the next step, and things like that. You can always automate all this process simply. And this is still numbers, cost saving, how much time it can save you, how much money it can save you, and all of that. Same thing here, just kind of skip through so we have enough time to do what we need to do. Automation, yeah, what you have to identify first, build, test, and then you deploy. Yeah, this part I want to get. Now, as much as we try to use AI and automation, data privacy and ethics is very, very important. Now, in a lot of organizations, they are blocking the use of ChatGPT, they're blocking the use of Claude. Because imagine an employee has had a meeting, a confidential meeting in the organization, but they want to summarize it and it's taking them time and they've copied the entire content of that meeting with the amount, with the numbers, the patient's information, the name, and just give it ChatGPT, summarize this information for me. One thing you don't know that is these LLMs and these things use the information you give them to train themselves. So you are now using the information from your own organization to train the AI, train the LLM, and things like that, which is really not good. So you have to understand data privacy. You have to understand ethical things, things that you should not put on AI. And if you're working within an organization, you should ask them, what AI have you approved on? For example, now I work within Microsoft technology. I can use Copilot because every information or data I use there sits within my entire workspace and it doesn't have to go outside. So you need to understand compliance, you need to understand ethical practices when you're dealing with AI. You just don't copy any data, you just don't copy anything. Some people they want to work in Excel and they want to, let's say, help AI to calculate things, and they just upload the entire Excel to ChatGPT and say, do this for me without removing information, without giving it fake or dummy data and things like that. So these are things you need to think about when you're using AI. It's very, very important so that one day you just don't find your company information out there and you're wondering how you go out there. So please, as much as we want to move fast in technology, as much as we want to do important things, do not forget data, privacy, and ethics. Very important. Your organization could get sued millions of dollars if you do a mistake by putting their information out there. And these are some of the things you need to just avoid while you're doing this. Like at the end of this, the ones I've skipped, these slides will be available so you can always go through it on your own. So what we are going to do quickly now before we come back to this is we're just trying to go and do a test here to build something to see how very well we can do the automation things. Today I'm going to be using a tool called ManyChat. I'm just going to share that particular screen now.
Sorry,
Yeah.
let me just chime in.
Okay.
Confirm you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. For those just joining, this is Top Tech Africa. Yeah, and we are having Bola on, discuss automation. And it's so brilliant how it started from automation to AI automation to compliance to workflow. And this session is strictly a practical session. So keep a close eye on this because if you miss it now, you have you have the option of either watching it on my personal Facebook or on the TalkTech YouTube. And for the slide, we'll make the slide available to uh, those that signified interest at the end of the webinar. Hello, over to you.
All right, thank you very much. Yeah. So the name of the tool we're using today is called ManyChat. Now, I've decided to go with this tool because I'm trying to understand the Nigeria workspace. I made an example then earlier about banking, and it's because I worked in the bank. I was lucky then because I worked in IT, so we could do anything we like. But I knew people that worked as tellers, as customer service, that had to be at their seats all the time and could not have access to their phone. And those same people, their salary is probably not enough for them. They're trying to do a business or something on the side. And imagine you running a WhatsApp or an Instagram business where they send you a message this morning and you have to wait till the night to reply to the person. You've probably lost such customers and things like that. So that's why I decided to go with this tool today to understand our scenario in Nigeria or in Africa to see how we can build a tool that can help us automate that business. Now, what ManyChat does very well is it has great integration with Instagram, WhatsApp, Telegram, where you can easily build automation tools into these social media spaces directly to help you automate it. So um, let's just get into it because of time. I'm trying to do everything from the start so you understand it. So I'm going to create a new account for it so we just follow easily to see how it is. So you can see immediately I started, he said, where would you like to start? do you want to connect it to Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, or Telegram? So it has direct connection to all these tools where you can easily build a bot to any of these tools you have. For today, I'm going to use Instagram, and I'm just quickly going to connect it via Instagram to an Instagram account. What I'm going to do here quickly is trying to create a new one. Let me see. Hold on a minute. Okay, just going to create one quickly here. It's a lot of let's use one random date. So it's going to save that. All right. All right, we have that set up now. So I'm going to use that to log in, to connect to the ManyChat too as well. Same thing here. Yeah, so EasyLearner is connected to that account, to that Instagram account just created. And there's one thing we should note here. This tool best work on a WhatsApp business account because there are certain APIs that it has that a normal WhatsApp does not have. And also, if you're using Instagram, you need to change your Instagram account to a professional or a business account before it works because there are certain APIs and things it needs to connect to for it to work. And that's what I've just done now. All right, it's ready. So what is the first thing I do? I'll go back here and I think connect for Instagram, allow. Yeah, connect to that account and I go. And this is how the page looks. Now, if we come here, we can see that there are templates that are here already for you that you can work with. How many of you recently has seen a content creator or these business people on Instagram that says comment, follow, and I will send you a document? And then you comment, follow, and immediately you get a document. You probably did not think they sent it manually. These are some of the tools they use whereby they've already put a trigger to say, anybody that comments, follow my account, send this document to them. Or you've suddenly followed somebody on Instagram, immediately following the person, you get a message that says, thank you for following, you're welcome to blah, 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 blah. These are some of the tools they use to make that happen. So these are some of the templates that are here. Auto DM links from my comments, generate, respond to all my DMs, grow followers from my comments, respond to all my DMs. These are things you can just do automatically without opening your Instagram by just creating or building your workflow here. So for today, I'm not going to use any templates just to make this thing easy. I'm going to come to automation here and then click on new automation, and then I'll start from scratch. I'll start with blank space so that we can just do everything easily. So what I'm going to start with first is a new trigger. And these are the things that can trigger. It says user replies to your story. So if I want to start on automation, immediately somebody replies to my story, I'll click this. But for today, we're going to use user sends a message. So if user sends me any of these messages, it will trigger an automation. So there are just a few words I'm going to use here. I'm going to add hello. I'm going to write bye. I'm going to say price. I'm going to say inquiry. I'm going to say what else? Hey, and just different things. I'll just leave that for now. So if somebody sends me a message that contains any of these, it would kickstart a trigger. And that's why, as a business person, you don't just come onto automation level. You have to have done a great understanding of your business, run through your business, run through your messages. What are the most popular messages people send me? What are the words they use most? You need to have that understanding of how your business runs before coming to automation. You're not just using automation to save you, you're using automation to help you. So you need to understand what people use very well. So I'm just going to use these basic few words now because of time. And then after I do a create. So if anybody sends a message to that Instagram with any of these accounts, the trigger will start. The next prompt I will add is to send a message. So what message do I want to send to the person that sends me any of that? So for today, I'm just going to use what we'll call hello. I'm going to say hello, and I'm going to use something called variable. Now, variable means how do I put it? Variable just means you're trying to store information in your system so that you can reuse them. So in this case, this tool already picked some of this information. This already has some of these preloaded variables saved already. For example, now if I say first name, it means that once somebody sends me a message and I reply with hello first name, this tool is going to look at that person's account and look for the first name on their account and type it, replace it in this message. So if that person's name was Shegun, when the person is replying the message, it will say hello Shegun. So this makes your message more personal. So if you have 100,000 people sending a message with a different name, this tool is going to reply to all of them with hello and their name, hello and their name, making you have more personal relationships with your customer. So it doesn't just feel like it's an AI replying. And if it just says hello, no, nothing like that. So these are some of the things we use variable for. So I was going to say hello, welcome to the store. I'm just going to keep that short. How can we help you today? Probably going to make some spelling mistakes. Pardon me, because I'm trying to type fast. So what I'm going to do next is add a button. So the first button I would say is our product. I'll name that our product, and then I'll just save that. I'll add another one. I'll call it ask a question quickly, and then I'll say that. So what happens here is once anybody sends me a message, it's going to reply with hello, welcome to the store, and it's going to give this person two options. I'm just going to change this one to buy products. Sounds like. So it's going to reply a person with buy product or ask a question. So if the person selects buy product, what happens next when this product is pressed? So I'm going to say send another Instagram message. So when this person sends a clicks buy product, it's going to send a message, and what would contain in that message. So I'll use something here called cards. Yeah, I'll use cards here. Just trying to keep this simple. So I'll type a message. I'll say thank you for interest. See our product. I should have just typed this before and copied. See our product below. And it's just going to upload. I'm going to upload an image quickly here. Let me just look for a shoe. Yeah. Okay. Can I save that? Save images. Download here. And come back here quickly and just upload the shoe. Oh, that did not save properly. Images. Save image. Shuttle one. Okay. Oh, still did not save. It's not saving in JPG format. Is it going to save now? No. Let me go to Pinterest. shoe. Come on. Okay. Continue. Come on. All right. Shoes. Good. You can save this now, I think. Hopefully that works. Yeah, that works. So we have this shoe saved. So we have the picture of this shoe. I'm just going to enter the title now. Copy from here. See New Balance 43 now. So I'm going to type the title here, and then subtitle. I'm just going to type the price here quickly. Let's do one more. So buy this. I'm going to put a button under this card and type it buy this, and then just add the button. Then I'm going to add another card here. Add another card here, and then do same. Look for another shoe. It's a Nike. Yeah. Please, if I'm going too fast, let me know in the chat. Because of time, that's why. So I've uploaded this one, and then this is a Nike, and then I have this price here, and then I'm going to put the price here. Yeah. So what I've done this time now is I've said when somebody sends a message with any of this, reply with hello this and give the person two options: buy a product or ask a question. And if the person says buy a product, give the person thank you for interest and then see our products below. Now let me just keep this at the side for now. What if the person says ask a question? What should we reply to? Yeah, send a message also. So what should contain in the message? We could give the person an option. So I think I already have something related to that. Just to save time, let me see if I can copy and paste that. Okay, then copy. So we're going to send a message to the person, say, sure, what would you like to know? Here are some of our questions. Then I'll add another one button to say delivery location. And then that's done. And I'll add another one to say return policy. Right. Yeah, good. So if somebody clicks ask a question, it would reply with delivery location and return policy. Just going to keep that for now. And there's one thing you should also do when you're building automations. Always try as much as possible to rename it, because now I have send a message 1, send a message 3. I might not understand it. So I'll just rename this one to main reply so I can understand. This one is products reply, and then I name this one question reply. Yeah. So now, what if the person picks this first product, buy this? What should happen? So what I would do after that is you probably need to ask a person, oh, great product selected, right? So what I've done here is I'll send another message and say, I already wrote something down here. Just copy that. Now, you also want to be able to confirm what the person selected. So it's good to tell the person back, oh, this is what you selected. So what I want to do now is, because I don't know what the person will select, it might be New Balance, it might be Nike. So I want to copy the name of what the person selected and add it in the message back to the person. So what I would do here is give this a variable. I would turn that name into a variable. So once the person is clicking buy now, right, I'm also going to add a variable to that, what's it called? Add a button. So action, I'm going to add perform action here. Okay, no, sorry. This is what I'll do first before performing that. This one, I'll remove this one. Remove. I would remove this one first. I'll perform an action. So when the person clicks buy this, it should perform an action, and the action should be set a user field, meaning create a variable, right? I'm going to create a new variable and name it product selected, and then create. So I'm going to come here and select product selected, and the value would now be, what's the value here? This is New Balance trainers. Copy, and then I'm going to come back here and set that to New Balance trainers. Good. So what I have done here is, if I just delete that. A minute. Probably I have to add it again. I think I mistakenly deleted it. Buy now, perform action, yeah, and then set user field to product selected, and the value is this. Yeah. So what I have done is, once somebody selects buy this, it would first of all copy the name of what the person selected, New Balance, and set it to this product selected. And then after that, it can now send a message back to the person to say this message to say, awesome choice. What I'm going to now do here is I'm going to now add that variable called product selected. So the message the person now gets is awesome choice of New Balance. Let's get your order selected. So you're personalizing the message back to the person. So I'll do the same thing for Nike Men trainers too. So if this person, I'm going to add a button here and name it buy this. So then I'll do the same thing and say after that perform an action, and then the same action, set it to product selected, and this time around is going to be Nike Men trainers. It's going to be this. So I already have two different actions now to say, if you selected Nike, New Balance, go this route. These are some of the things when I was talking about conditions. So there are different conditions that are available. If the person selected this, do this. Person selected this, do this. So after that, I would send a message to the person. What I will now do now is also now connect this one back to this one. So if you went for New Balance, it would set the product as New Balance. If you set it will set as Nike, and then come back and send a message to you. Let me see how many time we have left. Femi, how many time do you have left? Let me just, so I can know how far we can go with this, or probably just stop at this stage. Okay, I think we'll have about 16 minutes, so we don't have 16 minutes.
You kind of have 10 minutes left.
Okay,
so
okay.
We can give the room for people to ask questions. Yeah.
All right. So what I'm just going to do at this point now is I'll just remove this one because it's okay. No, let me just add a message to this send delivery location. I'll just add something there and says this one, so that at least that's not empty. So send a message, ready is other. Good. I'll remove return policy just because of time. Remove it. All right. So what we have here is a flow that says if anybody sends me a message with hello, buy, price, inquiry, that it doesn't have to be only hello. As far as hello, it says the message content. As far as hello is in the message, do this, ask the person buy product or ask a question. I think byproduct is not connected. Why? What happened? Byproduct. Need to connect that to Instagram. Yeah. So yeah. No, it needs to connect to. Mm, mm, Muslim Moving. No, byproduct. Select existing steps, send message one. Yeah. So connected that now. So if the person says byproduct, it would give this person to then do this and do that. So what we can do now is try and test it. I'm going to say live. Automation is live. And the name of the Instagram account is let me see again. What's the name of this account? I can create it now. My profile. Just created it now. Don't remember the name. Manage accounts. What did I have again? Contacts. It's I'll drop it in the chat now. It's I prefer Dinero. So as much people as you can, let's start sending a message to that Instagram account, and then let's see how well this automation we just did work. Is this? Yeah, that's the Instagram account. So I'm also going to try it here. If anybody is doing that, let me know. Because I don't have the Instagram on my phone, so because I just created it, I might
So
not
I'm
get the
trying to
message.
test that now.
Yeah, so people too should try and do that.
So it showed on my own byproduct, ask a question.
Then you can select any of those ones.
So I'm going
Others
to
too, please. Let's see. Let's try that. What I'm going to
then I
do
click
here
on
quickly.
byproducts. Thank you for your interest. It showed me those two products. Then it says, although maybe because this is free version, it says automation powered by ManyChats. So
Yeah, because it's free
I'm going
version,
to click on
exactly.
the
Yeah.
first one. The first shoe, the New Balance
Yeah.
that says buy this.
I'm going to try that now also and share my let me share my what's it called, my iPhone screen. I'm going to mirror my iPhone now. Yeah, so I've mirrored my iPhone. If anybody can see that, so this is what I've sent an hello. I'm just going to try again, say an hello, and he's going to reply with hello Bolaon. You can see I didn't tell him my name. He's picked up my name from my original Instagram account, and he says, what do I want to do? I'm going to tell you buy product, and then thank you for your interest. See our products below. Now it's told me. So this is because it's a free account. That's why it's had this. If I, because you can realize I just created the account. If it was paid, you will not have this now. So thank you for an interest. New Balance and Nike. I don't know why the Nike image is not showing. I don't know, but I'm just going to say buy this, which is the New Balance. It's going to come says awesome choice of New Balance. Let's get your order sorted, and I just need 2 details from you. So that is where we stopped in our automation. Now you can see that this is great. So you could be in your office working, and then you set this up in your Instagram, and so somebody messages you, and then as much automation as you've created, it would keep replying and get to the end of it. Now this is traditional automation. I'm just going to use the remaining minutes to just quickly show you what the difference can do when if you've used an AI automation instead. So let me just share this screen, this one. Is the only family that tried? Is there anybody that messaged the Instagram account here to see how it worked? Can we get a response from that person?
You guys can drop a chat if you
Please
try
drop the
that.
chat. Let's see if you tried that. Let's just see.
And if you want to ask a question, just type in the chat and say, I have a question. Then I can um, unmute for you to speak if you want to
Yeah.
speak.
So,
Bola, this
yeah.
was an amazing session, right? And I know
Thank
that
you.
we are going to have more of this. So promise me that you're going to come back and
Yeah, sure, definitely.
let's talk in the DM if there is
Okay, no
maybe a
problem. No
phase
problem.
two or another platform you want to demo. We can bring you back again in April if you don't
All
mind.
right.
And also, for those of you that you be trying out these things, right? If you want to try out the many charts, you stumbled on a problem. If those that are trying are up to 10, we can schedule a time before the next webinar and Bola will just answer all your questions. So if it is only up to 10 users, if it's less than 10 users, I can't bring Bola. Bola is a big man in the UK. So but it's good that I know that people came from Akure, right? That people came from where things were not looking so great then. So I can call Bola and say, guy, you know where we came from, right? So please,
Yeah.
if you guys have tried this and up to 10 people have tried this and you have a question or you put together your questions, Bella can come on another session. You share your screen, he shares his, or it takes a case scenario of your question and we solve your problem. That will kind of be the gift that Talk Tech Africa will be offering to you. But we will not do that if it is less than 10 users. So if there is something else we need to bring Bola on for, probably can bring Bola again in April. Then we find another guest um me. I see Shewa Kimbo is here, and and he just sparked my thinking on bringing Mr. Shola Kimbo or something else, probably this new CBN regulation in Nigeria or something else in Africa because we are not restricted to Nigeria. And Golan has used Instagram because we used a case study. We didn't want to go too far. We wanted to go into something that you know that is important to you every day. Imagine if you are not even using this, but you are helping businesses build these sort of systems. Nobody has an autonomy of price, right? You can set yours to 1,000 naira. I'll build your automation for you for 1,000 naira. As long as it puts food on your table, as long as it buys your data, it's fine. Some people will say, "Oh, you're too cheap for 1,000," right? It is up to you entirely to take this information and turn it into profits for yourself. And if you want to go into full scale deployment of automation, you can reach out to Golan, but that is on a price fee. And I have no say in that. I have no
Yeah.
say. If he charges you 1,000,000, that's your problem. So, Golan, do you have any,
Yeah,
final
just
word?
closing thing. What I'm just going to say is, if you see here, there's a ManyChat AI, and if I click that, that's a totally paid thing where you have to pay the platform, where you have to pay the platform for that. And what this would do now, there's not much time. I would have tried this. What this would do now would be an entirely different thing. I would not have to build each of these automation. All I just have to do is probably type everything in a Word document and say, hey, or connect it to a Google Sheets and say, these are the list of all my products. This is the price. This is do that, do that, do that. And upload it to the AI and say, if anybody messages me with an interest to buy this product, use this document and reply to the person. So from here, everything here will be cut off. And I just need to add an AI that has the knowledge of my product, and the AI will just be going, picking the price and replying to the person. That is the difference that AI makes in this AI automation. I don't have to now build a route, do
That's
this, follow this,
insane.
follow
So,
that
all if your prices change, all you need to do is to change it on that sheet,
on
and
that
it
sheet,
reflects.
and it reflects. So that's what AI now brings into automation here, but it's now at a cost. So depending on the scale of your business, you would decide on which one works best for you. So yeah, that's it. So if anybody has any question or anything, we can answer that questions now.
If you have a question, there's a Q&A aspect of this particular chat, and there's also, you can just type in the general. If you have a private question, there is a place for private. If you have a question for only just the hosts, that's myself or Bolan, you can type it there. This slide, I believe, is just for a limited set of people. So we're not going to be giving this slide on in the wild. And whatever Bolan sends to us, will be giving this slide in a PDF and not a PowerPoint. So if you're interested in this presentation slide, just send us a message anywhere on the internet, all of our social media, anywhere you find us, Talk Tech Africa, and we'll get it across to you. Since there is no question, let me check. We are streaming on Facebook and YouTube. So if you missed any step, you can go back to the YouTube and replay it. Our YouTube is Talk Tech Africa TTAF. And for Facebook, sadly, there was no time for me to stream into the Facebook group. So it streamed directly to my own timeline. So if you're my friend on Facebook, you would have seen that already on my timeline. If you're not my friend, you would not have seen that. And I'm really, really very, very skeptical on accepting new friend requests. So your best bet is to go to YouTube to get that video and all the steps that you missed, and even the explanation of the PowerPoint presentation. Want to really appreciate you, Bola, and I know that you have some couple of stuff that you also do on the side. I'm just going to show what Bola does. He has a podcast. Um, it's called Winning Across Borders. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts. It is celebrating the excellence and career journeys of Africans in the diaspora. Please ensure you visit. He has given you knowledge, right? So the least you can do is to go to his platform, share the link to your community, and there are also experiences there that you can benefit from. If you must have seen this displayed if you are following meeting on the, if you are following this particular webinar on the meeting app, you'd have seen this displayed already. This is his YouTube page, and this is Dollar's bio again. You can see that he has a depth in AI automation, and he has been doing this for years. So it's an amazing guy. Um, if I say he's my mentor now, he will say it's a lie. But
Whining.
I have a couple of guys in the UK. So if we have another session, or Bola, if you want to, maybe there's something else that you want to bring in a two-part series, we can bring you again in April. We'll just follow the same procedure to get all the materials and everything that you need for that. So thank you guys for being a part of this webinar. The webinar is usually around 1 hour to 1 hour 30 minutes. The days that we have presentations like this will be 30 minutes because it is a practical session. And that is my kind of ideology towards bringing guests to this program. I just don't want people that talk alone, but to show that they do these things in their daily life. So thank you so much, Gola, and we'd love to see you
No.
again and again. So I think a quick one, right? There are a lot of people that are just starting out in their career. You all know how we started, right? I started from engineering, moved to cybersecurity, and I'm grateful for that decision. And I know that you and I have had this conversation. There's a time that you were exploring UI UX, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You're able to transition to where you are right now in the United Kingdom, right? There are people on this chat that would like to hear. I want to say a word of encouragement. Either those that are trying to pivot, those that are trying to move completely, those that are trying to start afresh, and those that are stranded wherever they are. What would be your words of encouragement, advice to them?
So one thing I would say first is no knowledge is wasted. Don't take any experience for granted. Even if you're doing something else now, it could be tailoring, it could be whatever. Trust me, when you're pivoting or doing something, there's going to be something that you've taken in that experience that is going to help you in the next stage of your life. So don't take any experience for granted. No knowledge is wasted. And don't think you can't do something. Don't see something and feel like, oh, this is too much for me. I'm going to run away from it. 30 minutes or 15 minutes of learning something new a day is better than not learning at all. So you might not have time, you might be busy, but if it's just 15 minutes of reading something a day, by the time you add it up at the end of the year or at the end of 6 months, you could see that you're totally different from who you used to be. And that's one that's helped me a lot. And don't just stop learning, sincerely. Don't just stop learning. We're in a world whereby things are moving fast at rapid pace. So if you're not careful, you'll be left behind. So just keep on doing what you're doing and ask questions. Don't be too proud. Don't feel like this person I'm older than him. I'm doing that. I can't talk to them. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Ask questions from people and don't stop learning. So that would be for me.
Thank you so much, Bola. Till we come your way again, guys. Okay, let me see. There are chats. Compounding. Okay, let's keep doing that. I love compounding efforts. And a special appreciation goes to the community manager for Nigeria, Masood. Masood has been, inspirational to the team. He put in a ton of work into. I believe he's the one that's been reaching out to you, Bola. He's an
Yes,
amazing guy.
and I think Bimbo also, yeah.
Yeah, so please, Bola, I know you're a big man now. You know, if Masood needs to be your assistant in Nigeria or do some automations for you on the side, these guys it's a community that I can fully and wholeheartedly recommend to you, and they are doing amazing stuff. So when there are opportunities, to reach out to me, and these talents are there to bring those things to life.
Yeah, no problem, definitely.
So thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of your game. But just stay. I want to play Talk Tech Africa songs for you guys.
Where are we going? Who's building in? Who's owning? We ask it, we track it, we map it in the open. Talk Tech Africa. We connect the dots from the village to the cloud to the city blocks. Past milestones, future on the run. We're talking how the world gets wired as one. Talk Tech Africa. Press play, lean in from the north to the south. Let the story begin. If you want the future in your daily life, hit subscribe, keep the signal alive. Yeah. Yeah. Solar on a rooftop, papers on the phone. Out of the galley making tools of their own. Farmers checking whether kids are learning to code. Makers in Nairobi turning scrap into gold. Oh, who decides what's designed? Who gets left? Who gets time? We dig deep, past the shine, putting people in the headline. Oh, Talk Tech Africa. We connect the dots from the village to the cloud to the city blocks, past milestones, future on the run. We're talking how the world gets wired as one. Talk Tech Africa. Press play, lean in from the north to the south. Let the story begin. If you want the future in your daily life, hit subscribe, keep the signal alive. Oh yeah. Hey. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. From copper cables to satellites, from dial-up days to the data at night, we remember where the story began, so we can build a better next in our hands. And from campus labs to crowded streets, from silent code to policy seats, Africa's voice in every debate. This is where we narrate our fate. Hey, hey. Talk Tech Africa. We connect the dots from the village to the cloud to the city blocks, past milestones, future on the run. We're talking how the world gets wired as one. Talk Tech Africa. Press play, lean in from the north to the south. Let the story begin. If you want the future in your daily life, hit subscribe, keep the signal alive. Talk Tech Africa. Every single week, big trends, big dreams, every voice we seek, from policy to product, vision to app. We're drawing the whole world on the same map. Talk Tech Africa. Tune in to the feed if you want to stay ahead. This is what you need, from the past to the promise. We're talking through time. Hit subscribe, keep the signal online. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Talk Tech Africa. We're tuning in. Talk Tech Africa. Let's plug in, plug in. Talk Tech Africa. Hit subscribe, stay in. Talk Tech Africa, where your future begins.